Hi, my name is Yunjin Cho, and I'm very excited to share with you the literature survey about the iron air battery I've been working on with Dr. Oscar. In the era of global warming, clean and sustainable energy is demanded. However, since renewable sources such as solar, tide, and wind are intermittent, grid energy storage is important for their utilization. In the system, electrical energy is stored during times when electricity is plentiful and later returned to the grid when the electricity demand is high. The iron air battery is a promising candidate for a grid energy storage system. Iron air batteries have the potential to store large amount of energy at a low cost. Iron is inexpensive and abundant, while oxygen is freely obtained from the air we breathe. As compared to lithium, which depends on supply chains dominated by China. It has high theoretical specific capacity, and iron doesn't really form dendrites during cycling and aqueous electrolytes, which is good for battery safety because dendrites can cause a short circuit. These advantages make iron air batteries very suitable for grid storage, but there are some disadvantages as well. First, the electrochemical window of the iron air battery is narrow because of the aqueous electrolyte. The electrochemical window is defined as the gap between the oxidation and reduction potentials. An anode with an electrochemical potential above the electrolyte reduction potential could reduce the electrolyte, and a cathode with an electrochemical potential below the electrolyte oxidation potential could oxidize the electrolyte, and that's not supposed to happen for the battery to work properly. So since iron air batteries use an aqueous electrolyte, which has a narrow electrochemical window, the amount of voltage we could use gets limited. Second, hydrogen evolution reaction occurs during the charging. Some energy will be wasted because of the reaction during charging, which results in a limited overall Coulombic efficiency. Third, passivation of the iron anode leads to the poor discharge performance at high rates because the insulating product will block the active surface of the iron anode. This is a unit iron air battery cell. It has alkaline electrolytes such as potassium hydroxide between an iron anode and an air cathode. The theoretical cell voltage is calculated by subtracting the reduction potential of the iron anode from the oxidation potential of the air cathode. These are schematic images of a unit cell and cell modulus of a pilot-scale iron air battery. To compensate for the sluggish rate of oxygen reduction, the batteries usually consist of one iron electrode with two air-breathing electrodes on each side in a plain parallel configuration. Also, most battery systems having an iron anode often suffer from a large amount of heat evolution due to its large overpotential during long-term usage. Such heat dissipation can be inhibited by the circulation of the electrode and an auxiliary pump cooler system. This is a typical discharge charge curve of the iron anode and the alkaline electrolyte. On discharge, the electrode reactions at the anode involve the oxidation of metallic iron to form iron hydroxide. The second oxidation to form magnetite occurs at a lower potential. At the cathode, the reduction of oxygen occurs on discharge. On charge, magnetite is transformed back to metallic iron, which is the reverse of reaction 2 and 1. And this reaction must compete with parasitic hydrogen evolution because the standard reduction potential for hydrogen evolution is more positive to that of the iron electrode reduction. The reaction at the air cathode evolves oxygens from hydroxide and water during recharge. Therefore, for an iron air battery, the air electrode must be bifunctional. That is, catalyze both the oxygen reduction reaction and the oxygen evolution reaction. Oxygen reduction reaction includes a multi-step process, so it's notoriously slow. Therefore, one of the key factors in the development of the air-positive electrode has been the selection of the catalyst. Hydrogen evolution was one of the disadvantages of iron air batteries. Because the potential of hydrogen evolution is very close to the redox potential of iron, part of the charging current is wasted in producing hydrogen, lowering the overall Coulombic efficiency of the cell. Also, it causes spontaneous corrosion of the iron anode, which causes an adverse self-discharge process. Furthermore, it results in the loss of water from the electrolyte so that the cells are not suitable for a sealed package and free maintenance. There are some strategies to control the hydrogen evolution. The selection of raw materials for the fabrication of iron electrode is important in suppressing hydrogen evolution. It's proposed that there was an increase in charging efficiency with the high purity carbonyl iron electrode, and it's attributed to the high overpotential for hydrogen evolution on carbonyl iron. High purity carbonyl iron does not have any of the common impurities such as manganese, sulfur, and phosphorus that can reduce the hydrogen evolution overpotential. Different electrode formulation additives in the iron anode have been used, including bismuth, bismuth oxide, and sulfides. It's proposed that combining bismuth oxide with insoluble iron sulfide additives could stabilize the electrochemical performance. Bismuth oxide can improve the charging efficiency, and sulfides can provide the depassivation role for the iron anode. Therefore, the carbonyl iron anode containing 10% of bismuth oxide and 5% of iron sulfide delivered a charging efficiency of 92% and a considerable capacity of 0.2 ampere-hour per gram at a 3C rate. Bismuth sulfide is also an effective additive to suppress hydrogen evolution. Bismuth sulfide undergoes electroreduction to elemental bismuth on charging. The bismuth further increases the overpotential of hydrogen evolution due to the inferior energetics for the electrosorption of hydrogen intermediates. It's also suggested that the sulfide addition in the soluble form is effective to counter passivation effect and sustain cycle life. Sulfide ions combine with the iron hydroxide and form iron sulfide, which plays as a reservoir for sustained release of sulfide ions. On the contrary, Posada and others argued that the improved electrochemical performance with bismuth sulfide additive should be ascribed to the synergetic effect between bismuth sulfide and renewed surface, and the presence of elemental bismuth itself only influences Coulombic efficiency a little. Organosulfur compounds are also considered efficient, inexpensive, and environment-friendly additives for the iron anode to reduce the hydrogen evolution reaction rate. Malkendi and others proposed the use of sulfide to protect the surface of electrode with a self-assembled monolayer of alkene thiols. 92% of charging efficiency was reported. The extent of suppression of hydrogen evolution reaction depended on the structure of organosulfur compound. It was reported that strong interchain interaction and higher surface coverage rate decrease hydrogen evolution reaction rate. It definitely has the advantage of lower cost and better recyclability than bismuth compounds, but the effect on the electrocapacity and wettability has yet to be established. This is the end of the presentation. I'd like to express my gratitude to Dr. Oscar for guiding and supporting me throughout this research. I appreciate your time and attention.